when you are looking for enlightenment or awakening or some special state, then you have to really ask yourself, why are you looking for that? What's missing? You see, instead of just saying, okay, I need to achieve this thing through meditation, ask, like, why do I even need to find something? Like, why is there even a lack in the first place? And then investigate. Where is the lack? What is the lack? And how did it come about? For me personally, and I think it's for most people, the cases or the reason why there is a sense of lack is because we have all been brainwashed, hypnotized by a society that tells us, that links our sense of self-worth to how productive we are. Are you good at school? Are you a good kid? Are you behaving well? Are you a good worker? Do you have a business? How many friends do you have? How good do you look? It's judgment and comparison. And it is never enough. And you feel like you don't deserve to be happy as you are right now. Which is why meditation is a good tool to decondition yourself, because when you recognize who you truly are, which is pure consciousness, you can see the whole game. You can see people are constantly running around trying to become something. But when you find your true self, you just see the truth of it, that you can never improve. Who you are at your core cannot improve. It doesn't change form. It doesn't have a form. It is an absolute zero. You cannot improve yourself. It is impossible. It's just an illusion. You have a relative appearance of a self, which looks like a body and mind, and it seems to improve, but in reality it's just changing. You can create a certain idea of what an improved body and mind looks like, and also life, but in the end you will die, just like everyone else. And I'm not saying this to be pessimistic, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't pursue certain goals if you really want to pursue them. I'm not saying this at all. I'm just saying you shouldn't link your sense of self-worth to these things. You will remember your happiness when you figure out who you truly are, which is the unconditioned self that is behind the thoughts, behind the body. Once you are no longer making yourself feel guilty for who you are, then you can just live life and allow yourself to be unapologetically yourself. Allow yourself to be absolutely lazy. I had this problem. I did not allow myself to be lazy, even though I was meditating and sitting a lot or laying down a lot. I wasn't really allowing myself to chill, have absolutely no purpose. Even when I was sitting, there was a slight sense of, there was still a purpose behind that sitting. I was trying to relax. The purpose was relaxation. The purpose was getting deeper into meditation. And then I had a conversation with my grandma about this. she told me, allow yourself to really just, for one day, just do nothing. Have no purpose at all. Don't feel guilty for not being productive. And something in me it shifted. Just like, it was like, in that moment, it's like the divine was speaking through her so that the message could reach me. It's like, on this path, if we could say that there is a path on this spiritual path, the further you go, the more you realize that there is no purpose on this path. And when the purpose is absolutely just evaporating into nothingness, that's when you know you have arrived, in a way. Because you're in the end, you're just here. Just infinite consciousness, which cannot be improved, having this experience right now. There is no next. Of course, on a relative level, there is a next, but who you are, there's no next. You cannot improve who you are. There will be no growth at all. There will be no diminishment. You cannot be insulted. Nobody can praise you. You are an absolute zero. Having this realization really gives you a sense of enjoyment, not magically, not just out of nowhere, but it comes through a realization. It's just the realization that you are good enough as you are. It's not something that you have to tell yourself until you believe it. You just see the truth of it. It's not an affirmation that you repeat, I'm good enough, I'm love, I'm worthy of love. You don't have to repeat those affirmations. You just see the truth of it, that just the fact that you're existing is proving that you are just enough, And I'm not even saying this to make you feel better or to cheer you up or anything like that. I'm just saying the truth. But there is nothing, there's absolutely no purpose. There's absolutely no reason to become something in order to be more, to be more lovable, to have more worth. I'm talking about the psychological aspect. Of course, on a relative level, you can always get more money, get more of this and that. But people don't actually get all these things to improve on an external level. They want to improve on the psychological level. They want to feel enough psychologically. That's why they are living the way they live. And I'm just saying, the sense of being complete and full psychologically will never come from the outside. You can only have the insight. That is, you are enough. It is not something that I say to cheer you up. It's just a fact. Because you cannot be improved upon. There is no need for a purpose. You can play purpose. It's a play. You can play in this game. You're absolutely free to do whatever you want to. And trust me, when you feel free, when you're no longer feeling restricted by your own psyche, you won't feel the need to do something stupid. It is just, you feel absolutely natural. You finally feel like you belong to existence in a way where you're like, me and existence are not two separate things. I'm not a human on a planet that's just living for maybe, if I'm lucky, 80 years. And maybe if I'm lucky, I will become someone, but and then at some point I will die. It doesn't feel like that. Who I truly am is not limited to this human existence. I don't know how to explain this. When you have found your true self, you will lose the sense of being mortal. You will lose the sense of being, restricted to this, to the phenomenal world. So, and you cannot attain this. It's already here. So you have to investigate, why don't you feel like it's already okay? Now, could it be that you still feel like you have to become someone? Could it be that you are still comparing yourself with people who seem to have more? You have to know that these are just masks. People are not really more. Once you know who you are, you know who they really are. And they are absolutely afraid of who they really are, because what they really are, to them, is absolute boredom. A kind of boredom that would annihilate their sense of self, the sense of false self-worth that they have built. You have to ask yourself, are you comparing yourself? Maybe you feel depressed, maybe you feel like you're no one, because you are not allowing yourself to be depressed. When you are depressed, when you have, let's say for example, you are depressed because you think you haven't attained anything in life. You feel like you are extremely angry because people have hurt you. And then you want to change yourself so bad, you want to attain enlightenment so bad, so that this life situation can change. You don't need enlightenment, you need to accept yourself. When you're no longer resisting what you are, then you are absolutely no longer in conflict with who you are, with existence. You're no longer in conflict, you're no longer suppressing what wants to be expressed. And when you allow those energies to flow, because you're no longer resisting them, so you're no longer trying to change your depression, you're no longer trying to change your anger or your sadness or whatever, heartbreak or whatever, then you simply allow existence to let these energies flow. And automatically they will transform, and you will notice, maybe even though I am depressed, maybe even though I am not successful, maybe even if I am lazy, maybe if I am all these things, maybe I'm still perfectly good. I'm no longer trying to change myself. That's what you have to see. But don't take this as a new belief. Find your true self. Alright, have a good day.